think that's how we're going to start branding these Thursday live streams. Now, there are a lot of organizations out there that help people develop cybersecurity skills and get better and break into the industry and all the wonderful things that many of us have done. But every once in a while, a really special organization comes around, and Cyber Bytes Foundation, to me, is definitely one of those organizations. If you've been a longtime friend of Simply Cyber, you know that we've had them on the show in the past and highlighted some of their initiatives. And these guys are going absolutely gangbusters, ramping up, delivering more value to the cybersecurity community, frankly. And it's just fantastic. And I'm super, super pleased today to bring Amanda Sawicz, who's the Director of Innovation, a key player over at Cyber Bytes Foundation, to talk not just about the 2020 cybersecurity initiative, so we know what's going on and how y'all can get involved, but really to talk about what is the mission of Cyber Bytes Foundation. And I'll give you a hint. It's education, innovation, and community outreach, but what does that mean for them? How are they realizing on that vision? And what does it all mean for us? So I'm super pumped. I hope you are too. Remember, same rules apply. If you have a question, put a Q in front of it, drop it in chat. We will get to it, okay? You don't need to spam it a whole bunch of times. Be good, and let's go talk to Amanda. Hey, Amanda, what's up? How are you?
I'm good. I've been looking forward to this. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks so much for what you guys do at Cyber Bytes Foundation. So I guess, a lot of people, I've been speaking about it all week about you guys coming, and I know some people have kind of Googled it and checked it out, but just so we have some level setting, if you will, can you kind of talk to us about the simple question, right? What is Cyber Bytes Foundation?
Right, no problem. Well, the Cyber Bytes Foundation it's an ecosystem, and it's a very dynamic ecosystem. You said earlier in the introduction, we do education, innovation, and outreach. And now we can talk about, well, what does that mean and how do we do it? So, it's a 30,000 square foot facility. We have, and it's over three floors. So on the first floor, that's where all the education happens, and we also have a 10,000, and we also have a 12-seat Pearson VUE testing center. So then, so that's the first floor. And, we'll talk a little bit more about the education piece. Then you go to the second floor, and that's where all the exciting stuff is. And that's where all of the labs are. We have a software factory, have a 5G and advanced 5G lab. We have an AI and ML lab. We have 2 AR, VR labs, et cetera, an IoT and ICS lab as well. So, and then on the third floor, we have a SCIF. So, and they're building out a SCIF right now, and that's through a DD-254 by the Marine Corps Systems Command.
Yeah, and real quick, just for the audience, so we're all clear, a SCIF is basically a classified facility for doing cleared work. So you can't just have secret documents all over the place. You have to do it in controlled spaces. So that's fantastic. You don't just go to Home Depot and pick up a SCIF, I assure you.
Yeah. No, I don't think they don't have that yet. So yeah, but it's a very secure space with the, extremely tight, parameters for it.
So you just mentioned labs, right? That my interest peaked right away. You said 5G, AI, AR, VR, OT, ICS. So I guess, can you kind of elaborate? When you say lab, in my mind, I'm thinking there's technology there. There are people who are skilled in the technology. Maybe you do education. Maybe you're doing research. I guess pick the AI one. What does that actually look like? What's going on in there?
Right. Okay. Fantastic. AI is something, kind of near and dear to my heart, and it's been so disruptive, and it's going to become even more disruptive. So, if you go up to our AI lab, we have the latest and greatest technology from, and I don't want to use any sort of, any of our vendors, to give preference over one or the other, but, all of the top technology companies are in our building, and they're doing, they have their leading technology in our building. So, when we get people from the community or from the DoD in, they can see the latest and the greatest. And then we also have, the subject matter experts from the largest technology companies who can come in, and explain and help solve the problems. And that's the beauty of the ecosystem that we have. The DoD or, other organizations, they can't afford the top engineers on the planet. but we have access to those people, so we can sit down. Here's my problems, here's my problem set, etc. We have access to those engineers, and now we're solving problems engineer to engineer, and that's kind of the beauty of what the ecosystem offers at the Cyber Bytes Foundation.
So that sounds very much like it's a government to business kind of. Government has issues, or maybe commercial sector. I don't know. Let me know if it's really any entity that can do it. But is there also opportunity for individuals to get involved in any capacity?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. It was originally started to solve the problems of the warfighter, and they are doing that incredibly well. However, you need industry, to support that. Industry has the best practices; they move a lot more rapidly, etc. So, it's for 2022 and beyond. That's going to be one of the main objectives of the foundation, is to bring more commercial entities into the facility as well. So so in saying that, it's those really innovative organizations and companies, those smaller technology companies, that I'm going to be really targeting, and really looking at, and that's where that magic happens.
Yeah, that's really cool. So is the research that's coming out of these labs, is it proprietary? Is it published academic research? What is the output of the solutions that they're uncovering?
Well, I'll give you an example. So there's something called a CRADA that we have, and so we'll get some problem sets sent to us, and we'll have to work on those, and then industry will write white papers, etc. For the government, and then those are the answers that they'll get back. So the research is to a set of problem sets that have been given to the Cyber Bytes Foundation.
Yeah, I like it. It makes sense. So the work is done, and then basically knowledge share is disseminated back out, maybe at a broader level where the specific problem was solved for that particular warfighter or group or whatever, and then the knowledge is pushed on. That's really good. I'm seeing a lot of people in chat, Amanda, talking about this second floor, which is why I gravitated it to myself as a tech. Getting your hands dirty, getting right up into the mix. So with the 5G AI, I mean, these are all kind of like cutting edge technologies, right? I guess the OTICS one is the odd man out, since that's like, what do you guys have in there? Like 30-year-old technology, and it's considered bleeding edge or something?
Well, it's just right now. We have the standard ICS wall.
Yeah. No, of course. So, okay. So really quick before I kind of pivot off of this lab, I mean, you guys are physically located in Quantico, Virginia. So if someone, like, I see Pete McKinnon talking about how awesome this sounds, and I agree with you 100%, Pete. Could Pete as an individual go to Quantico and get involved with these labs, or is there a remote learning capability, or do you run like sessions or like what type of opportunities? Yeah.
Okay. So it would, that would be a further conversation. It would be, what sort of, test and evaluation. It would have to come from, it would have to come as part of a test and an evaluation, someone can't just come in off the street and, start using the technology. That can't happen.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So that you can't just walk in, throw on a VR headset and be like, I'm here for the Foo Fighters concert, right?
Well, you know what? We would absolutely let you, but you'd have to make an appointment. How about that?
Yeah. That sounds good. So let's pivot on to kind of the education element of the mission, right? So, because it sounds like that was really tied to innovation. With the education component, I mean, you guys have the Cyber Bytes Academy. I don't know what that is. So can you share with me and the Simply Cyber community, what is Cyber Bytes Academy?
Definitely. So essentially, this was almost where the foundation had started. There was a real need to fulfill people who had some cyber skills. So that was, that's the very short version of how the foundation was started. But right now, and this is an area where we're really expanding. in expanding the type of training, et cetera, that we're going to be offering. So, but right now we offer A+, Network Plus, and Security Plus, certified ethical hacking, et cetera, and CISSP. Those are the kind of sort of the standard ones that we're offering right now. And those are offered for free of charge. And then we also have a 12-seat Pearson VUE testing center where, you know, if you are kind of local, you can come there and, you know, do your certification as well. However, so that's sort of one piece, but
so if I can, Amanda, I'm sorry, but you just said something that's definitely very interesting. So I threw the question up because you were literally answering Kimberly's question before we asked it. So Kimberly, very next level thinking there for you, but you said free. So what do you mean by free? Free what? Free boot camp, free education, free cert sit? What's free?
No, you have to pay to do the certification.
Sure.
But you get a reduced rate for, you know, if you do it through us, you do get a reduced rate to do that. But taking the course, like we pay for the instructor, and you can do it whether it's in person or online. Obviously, you know, we started this during COVID, so everybody was forced home. So so we offer those courses, like the actual coursework, you know, that's done for free.
Oh, that's absolutely fantastic.
It's not, and it's not, you know, it's not some sort of recorded video or something. It's a live instructor that you have access to.
Yeah, I'm with this random anonymous LinkedIn user here. Where can I go to get more information on this free training?
Yeah, you can simply just go to the website, or you can even just drop me a note, and I'll give you some dates and times as to when everything is going to be running.
Okay, so that would be cyberbytesfoundation.org or cyberbytefoundation.org. Yeah, I'll drop that in chat. Okay, so I didn't mean to interrupt you to derail your train of thought, but I just know that is something that people definitely want to key in on.
Yeah, no, and that's one of the main missions of the foundation. So it's, you know, to ensure that we're, you know, helping with this, you know, dare I say it, skills gap, because I have some different opinions about that, whether it's a skills gap or not. So
yeah. Well, I mean, what are your thoughts about the perceived skills gap or the talent shortage in the industry?
I don't think there is one. I think that there is. I think that there's a hiring issue. You know, I would bounce it right back to how people are being hired, and you know, the industry has to start training people a little bit differently. And you know, as you know yourself, the technology changes so rapidly. What I learned in university is irrelevant, you know, as far from a technology standpoint. You know, you need the basics, you know, but I think you can really do so much more hands-on training, and you'll get, you know, I think you'll get a much better engaged employee, you know, if we, you know, just because we're going to need to do it somehow. And, you know, I think because what we're doing now isn't working. So
yeah, I agree 100%. Yeah, it is funny that people would just rather have nobody in the seat than hire someone who they don't perceive as, you know, capable of being able to learn or being able to be trained up or anything like that. So, yeah, imagine that, hiring talent and then investing in them. I
know it's such a strange, isn't it? So, but no, I think that, you know, if we take a few more chances on people, well, you know, if you get somebody who's engaged, and, you know, as long as they need to have some basic skills, obviously, but, you know, I think find people who are willing to learn. And there's a lot of those people out there, you know, because this shortage it's trending in the wrong direction at the moment.
I absolutely agree. Do you happen to know, like with Cyber Bytes Foundation, since education is really one of their pillar, you know, values, mission statements. I mean, do you guys have, are you tracking metrics, or do you have any type of data behind the students that go through your programs and then their placement rate or anything kind of associated with the students?
Yeah, we do have that data, but I don't have it at hand, so I can't speak to where that is, because we have someone separate. We have a director of education, Dr. Miller, and that all resides with him. So I don't actually have those stats off the top of my head. But yeah.
Well, it's not fair because I just like pulled that out of nowhere to attack you.
Okay.
Yeah. So we talked about the education, and I know you were going to continue on about something. So is it go beyond, or is it grown out beyond, just your CompTIA and your CISP certs?
Yeah, no, we're going to be doing like so much more training because, I think, well, I know that like soft skills are incredibly important. The technology side needs to be able to, converse and do business with the business side of the house, and the operations side of the house. So, there's this conversation that needs to happen in the middle. So there's a lot of training going on in there. We're also expanding, the types of courses that we're going to be doing as well, in this DevSecOps arena, so just the type of curriculums that we're going to be offering are really, really expanding as well.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I know like we're here to talk really about the 2022 initiatives, but really when I launched the question, what is Cyber Bytes Foundation? It's deceptively simple to say, but it is really interesting, deep when you explain it at the level it warrants. So we've talked about the Academy, the American Cyber League, another piece of this Cyber Bytes Foundation. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, this is where all the magic happens. And this is where this is the part of my job that I absolutely like. I am very grateful every single day for the seat that I get to sit in. And it's fantastic. I get the top technology companies on the planet and bringing their top technology into our building. And, so I have these subject matter experts around me, basically showing off, best in class. So, and that all that sort of magic happens on the second floor in the labs. So, and the really interesting part of it, and this is where the magic happens for me. Outside, you have all of these companies who would be competitors, whereas part of the conversation to participate at the foundation is we all need to collaborate, and we're all here for the mission to help solve the issues for the warfighter and to support the warfighter. So, when they're under one roof, the solutions they all have to work together, so and when you're solving the problem for the warfighter, it's never 100% company X. It's going to be 10% of this company, 10% of this company, a little bit of this. So then when we're walking around these people from the DoD, we can say this is how the complete solution works together, and it takes all of these companies to work together to get you across the line and to solve those problems. And then taking with that, we now have all of these highly skilled engineers and subject matter expert. We can sit down at a table and really, whiteboard out and really get some creative, functioning solutions. And again, that synergy is just incredible, and that's the foundation.
It's a little cynical and obviously biased, but it's funny when you take the business and the finance people out of the equation and you just have the tech people get together. They don't care that you work for, Dell and I work for Compaq. And it's more like, hey, let's nerd out on something awesome together and pool our resources. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to a very large organization yesterday at the conference, and they were talking about that they want to join the foundation, which is fantastic. We, because the more the merrier. And he's like, oh, and I'm going to send this person and this person. I said, but you're not. I know. I said, I want your tech people. I don't want, because you have to be really cognizant, and we have to keep the integrity. That it's not turning into a sales show. That's not what this is at all. So I'm a little bit hard line, when it comes to that, because it is all about the technology and how the technology is going to solve a problem. So
yeah,
I understand the business side of the house, but that's that's for another time. First, let's solve the problem.
Well, I appreciate, you were saying it almost as a matter of fact and kind of implicitly, but I love that you just explained that the integrity of whatever Cyber Bytes is delivering, whether it's education, innovation, or outreach, you guys are cognizant of the integrity. It's not just like expand for the sake of expansion to say you have, 100,000 people involved or the Fortune 500 companies are all involved or whatever. Like I really appreciate personally, because that means that you're deliberate about the choices and selections that you are making, as opposed to just, scooping them all up for metrics sake. I really appreciate that.
No, and one of the other things, especially, dealing with the strategic partnerships, it's really important that, there's a few things that I'm always cognizant of, and I'm very, very direct about when I, am onboarding partners. It's, you have to, we are here to support the warfighter. That's first and foremost. You have to play nice in the playground, and you have to be a contributor to the foundation as well. So, it can't, me, Matt, Joel, Aaron, Jonathan, like we're a really small team kind of doing these incredible things, but, it takes all of us to work together. So, kind of just putting up a banner, in the lobby that's not helpful,
Right.
and you have to participate, you have to get involved in, in the sort of events that we're putting on, etc. So,
Yeah.
so it's, I push back on our, on our partners as well.
So just as a quick aside, because there's some chatter in chat about this, people are talking about that piece of art over your right shoulder. And there's a lot of interest around what that piece of art is. So I don't know if you want to comment on what that piece of art is, or if you have any thoughts on it, on this cog gear looking thing.
Okay. I don't. I'm at a hotel in, so it's not mine.
Okay.
So I can't even like bring it over to show you or anything. So yeah, it is quite interesting though, from a mechanical perspective. But
there we go. All right. Well, thank you for indulging chat. They do appreciate it. So
no problem.
No, it's all good. Don't worry about it, Brian. It's all fun. So, okay. So Amanda, it took us 20 minutes, but we got here. I think myself and the audience really understand, at least at a surface level, what Cyber Bytes Foundation is all about. Like if someone asked me at a coffee shop right now, I could answer the question. So let's talk about, you guys have been in existence for probably 2 or 3 years at this point. You're ramping up 2 years? 18 months?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. So 18 months. It feels like you've been around for much longer, and the maturity level that you guys have achieved as an organization. But let's talk about 2022's initiatives. It's February, so we're already halfway through Q1. What is on the docket that you want to share with us about 2022?
But 22, if you kind of look back, last year was all about getting, it was the mechanics of it, like getting the equipment physically in, like literally getting the building finished, and getting a few key people in place, etc. Whereas, this year we kind of have to like right the ship a little bit, and it's, we want to do a lot more, training and evaluation, etc. We want to do. I want to get more partners in. And one of the really big things that I want to do, and we were speaking about this earlier, we are predominantly focused on the DoD right now. And that's great. But I think it's going to be extremely beneficial if we bring in the commercial side, and if we bring in industry, if we have those running alongside. And, because we get a lot of, the DoD gets a lot of their best practices from industry. So, if we kind of have that running alongside, and industry moves at a much quicker pace as well. So I think we need both to happen within the foundation. So that's going to be something that's really, really high on my list this year. So if we can work on the, but I want to keep it in the regulated spaces, whether it's healthcare, finance, banking, etc. So, that's one of the main goals of this year, is to get one of those regulated industries set up, alongside with one of our partners, but then still have it tie in, so that there is something relatable for the DoD in it. So I have a few ideas on that. It's not, the plan is not 100% ready for public consumption yet, but we're getting there.
Oh, that's fantastic. So are you thinking it's similar to kind of the way that the DoD interaction is now? So like, let's say it's Chase Bank, right? Just to pick a name out, right? If you're going to go financial services, Chase Bank brings you a problem, and then the tech SMEs help solve the problem. Is that kind of how you're envisioning it?
That's exactly how I'm envisioning it. Or even, to the point of, like from an education, slash research point of view, the bank can kind of give us, here's the 5 here's 5 big banking problems, and then have, whether it's a master's student or something, work on those problems and alongside with the bank, I say banking or finance or healthcare, whatever it may be, so that we can do some sort of research that way as well.
Oh, very interesting. So, okay, so that's kind of on the, it sounds like that's growth and initiatives associated with the innovation pillar. What kind of other projects are you going, whether it's outreach or education?
Yeah, as far as the outreach goes, it's like I said, we have the biggest names in the business under our roof right now, and then we also, alongside that, we also have some smaller tech companies. So if we could all sit around a table, and say, I've mapped out what we're going to be doing for the year as far as events goes, etc. But then if we could take the best of the best of the best from all of these companies and say, what, for this panel, I'm going to bring, my top 3, if we could all collaborate together, and, take some idea or take some event and, polish it up and make it a lot better. I think that's really one of the goals of, that I want to achieve this year, because right now everybody's just been kind of working on their own stuff. Whereas, if I lay out the events, for all the partners and for all the members and have them, pick and choose where they can best collaborate and contribute, we'll see a lot higher level of engagement and success, etc. So, providing, sort of like cross-pollination, for the foundation. And so that, the partners, they want to get something back as well. And there's, that can scratch the business side for them.
Sure. So okay, so these are good ideas, but as far as trying to understand how it materializes, you mentioned a panel and stuff. So I know Simply Cyber, I know Cyber Bytes has a YouTube channel, but it isn't really, I've checked it out occasionally. I subscribe to it. You guys haven't really done a lot with it. It looks like you tried and then you kind of, stopped. So are you how does this materialize? Is this an in-person conference? Is it a hybrid conference? Is it a panel at DEF CON?
Right.
What's it look like?
Okay, good question. Very good question. So Jonathan and I basically sat down in my office and said, we're going to quarter by quarter by quarter, here's the sort of events that we're going to put on. So whether it's like a coffee morning, whether it's a networking event, we've set out what each quarter is going to be. And then we're going to put that back to the partners and saying, here's the events that we're going to have. How do you want to participate? Because each quarter is going to be listed by, by industry. So whether it's AI, 5G, innovation, cybersecurity, each quarter is going to have its own theme. So so we're going to have an event, like a partner engagement event, to invite all the partners in, and then they can, like I said, they can kind of pick and choose from the menu what they want to participate in.
So I'm sorry if you just said this, but the 4 flavors, the 4 kind of themes, the seasons. Did you just disclose that, or is that something you can disclose?
Oh yeah. No, it's we have 5G, we have AI, we have cybersecurity. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the way that it's going to be.
So interesting. So interesting. So I have been operating under the context, of course, I am incredibly biased towards cybersecurity. So in my mind, everything is cybersecurity. The news is cybersecurity, right? So when you've been saying AI and 5G, in my mind, it's like security of 5G. It's security of AI. But you guys are doing well beyond just security of that tech or that protocol or whatever.
Definitely. There's, it's been said that, cybersecurity isn't everything, but it is in everything, so you have to be cognizant of that. And, building in cyber right at the beginning of your project is, and looking left of that is incredibly important. So, but we do all of the tech, and obviously anything with the tech that goes with the DoD has to be secure, beyond secure. So, so cybersecurity is a very, very, very hot topic at the foundation.
Yeah, absolutely. And really quick, Guillermo, he dialed in late. I find it unbelievably important for the Cyber Bytes Foundation to be like one of the key takeaways that people get out of here. So to reiterate, it's education, innovation, and community outreach, and they're a nonprofit, right? So it's like the money's been pushed aside and it's focused on delivering value. Chip, member of the Simply Cyber community, he's asked a couple times different ways in chat here about the OT technologies around testing, around calibrating. Can you just give us a little bit deeper on the ICS OT lab? The kind of work going there. I know we've talked at a high level, but
yeah, what are we doing in there? Like I said, we have the ICS wall, and we ran Hack the Capital out of there last year. We have, we have Enclave. Do you know them?
No, I've heard of an Enclave. I've built Enclaves. I never heard of a company called Enclave.
No, well, Enclave is they're really big into zero trust, obviously. So
okay,
yeah, so they're a really big partner in our in that lab as well. So they do some really, really incredible work. So probably the biggest one.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I know a company. Well, whatever. We could talk offline about it. Never mind.
Yeah.
So, all right. So hopefully that answers your question, Chip, around the OT stuff. Gregory has a question, and I find this is good for all guests, really. Now that you work with all this innovation technology and you see a lot of bleeding edge stuff and probably some crazy stuff in the AI space, Amanda, what keeps you up at night?
What keeps me up at night? It keeps me up at night is that we're not moving quickly enough, and we have the technology, but we can't implement the technology quickly enough. And I think knowing that is difficult. Knowing that anybody in the RIC countries, they are relentless, and I think anybody outside of the cybersecurity realm would not maybe understand that. But if you sit in the cybersecurity, they are relentless. It is nonstop. Whereas we are bound, here on this side, we are bound by certain laws and bureaucracy, and they are in the RIC countries they are not. They get government support to do that. So it's okay. So it's just this unfair advantage. And there's some really worrying trends. So I think that's, without saying too much, it's it's really difficult, and I don't want to say one country over the other, or that sort of thing.
Of course, and I'm totally with you on that one. And we actually just covered in today's newscast on First Things First, the Simply Cyber morning daily threat briefing. Shameless plug. And I'll bring myself up here for a second. So Twitter is actually rolling out an automated mechanism that will ban accounts for 7 days if they are replying to an actual post in a way that the algorithm determines to be negative or abusive or bully. So if you say, the ideal case here, Amanda, is I like chocolate, right? And then someone comes on and says, chocolate sucks, you suck, vanilla's the best, you're the worst, eat a D, whatever, and banned for 7 days. That's the use case. But we were talking about how, who's controlling that algorithm and whose influences are on it, right? You're talking about countries, but, tech, it's all about money and who controls that algorithm. So now you say something like, I like chocolate, and the vanilla industry has a vested interest in people not liking chocolate. So, there's a bit of a flex, or even worse, you say something that's very polarizing, and the people who are replying to you are getting banned, even though you kind of lit the match with your intentionally polarizing initial post. So all of that, I don't have any thoughts about that. I know we did not talk about this before.
No, that's totally fine. And I think that misinformation and disinformation, I think that will feed right into that. misinformation. It just, we can just look back to a couple of years ago as to what happened in the US and figure out how catastrophic misinformation and disinformation can be. So
Oh,
it's
quite true.
very, yeah. And yeah. Oh God, I just don't even want to start that conversation.
Yeah. Well, let me bring it back to Cyber Bytes. I digressed and got a little saucy. Just a shame.
No, that's fine. So
Yeah.
I just don't want to get political on Simply Cyber.
Yeah. Simply political. Yes. So Pete's asking, does Cyber Bytes from the public outreach perspective, how do you guys engage universities or K through 12?
Yeah, you know what? That's a really great question. We're still very, like I said, we've only been around for, we've only opened the doors for about 18 months. So, and we are a small team, but we are like, outreach is incredibly important. And there's a few things that we're doing so that we can, engage, youth, universities, etc. So we do have summer camps for youth, and we can talk about that a little bit more. Those are becoming incredibly popular. And with the universities, yes, we have affiliations, and we're in the process of getting curriculum approved so that we can do that. So the universities can run programs through us, etc. So those are early day discussions that are going on. And as well, do you do what you say, lower high school? Okay, yes.
Yeah, I think he was just saying the whole spectrum of school. Yeah.
Yeah, and another thing that we're doing as well, we do like CTFs and hackathons once a quarter. So we're always posting stuff like that. If younger people want to get involved, we'll get the military side, we'll get the civilian side, and obviously there's youth teams. And when we do the youth teams as well, we try and set up like a mentorship so that the youth teams can kind of see what the high level red teams are doing, and kind of walk them through it afterwards, etc. Do some sort of commentary.
Oh, that's excellent. I had no idea. So there was a question a little while ago, and I apologize for not having it at the ready. But basically, an individual said that they live in Australia. Thank you for tuning in, our international friends. And when will Cyber Bytes come to Australia? So I'll pose it as a kind of a bigger question. You guys are only 18 months. You're expanding quite rapidly just in Quantico. But what's the vision of the footprint for Cyber Bytes, regionally or online or whatever?
Yeah, well, there is, there's a lot of talk about this, and you're right, it is still really early days. There is longer term plans to do this nationally, and then take this model and then go internationally as well, because obviously we have affiliation with, organizations all over the globe. So, taking this footprint is, I think once it's really set up here, I don't think it'll be, don't get me wrong, it'll still be a lot of work to open another center, let's say in Australia or the UK or Malaga, one of my favorite places on earth. But it's, is there plans to do that? Yes. Are they concrete plans today? Are they like, is it mapped out sort of thing? No, like we need to get the Stafford one up and running and, done properly before we start going internationally. So
yeah, you don't want to turn into I guess that's kind of how Rome fell, right? They expanded too quickly, too widely, and couldn't support themselves, or Greece. So anyways, long story short, I do appreciate it. I'm glad that you guys are thinking longer term, but again, I'm seeing a theme here, Amanda, very deliberate about the decisions you're making with a mind to the integrity of the overall product, right? Expand too quickly and the quality degrades to the point where it's like, what was the point? So I do like that. You mentioned these summer camps. I agree with Brian here, who says, where were these when I was growing up? Like I didn't have summer camp, or if I did, it was basically just getting dumped off at the local rec club, for 8 hours in the summer with a lunchbox and a, whatever. So as far as these summer camps go, can you elaborate a little bit? Who can get involved? Where are they located? What's more information on it?
All right. I'm just going to pull something up really quickly here.
Yeah. Do you want to, you could share your screen if you want, Amanda, or you could give me the link and I'll share it.
Okay, let me just pull this up and I'll.
All right. I love it.
Just it.
Oh, that's a good question. Guillermo's got a. I'm sorry, Guillermo, if I'm destroying your name, but a very good question coming up for Amanda here. I like this.
Okay. Oh, I thought we had the actual. Hold on. You have it somewhere here.
No problem. Yeah. So, guys, if again, drop it in chat if you would, base or mods. Cyber Bytes Foundation, right? Like the website's got all this stuff. Like we brought Amanda on to bring life to the Cyber Bytes Foundation versus me just doing a 10-minute video where I click through their website, right? That's definitely not dynamic. It's fine. It's a dynamic website, but obviously having Amanda here to share from her perspective is way more valuable. So definitely check out the website after the stream.
Yeah.
You got the link, Amanda? You gonna bring it up?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I have the actual date. Here we go. I'll pop those to you.
Okay.
In the chat directly. Yeah. I'm making.
Yeah, if there's a. Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't think that really.
Oh, wow. So this is interesting, chat. I'm going to drop this in chat right now. If you have a URL, Amanda, you want to share with me, that's public. I will share this. But guys, I just dropped it in chat and I'm pulling it up on here. This is interesting. It's not just Hacker Summer Camp like I thought. In my mind, it was Hacker Summer Camp, which is actually kind of funny because that's what we call DEF CON. But it's drone, crypto, VR, AR. These are really cool.
Yeah.
Guillermo, perfect. Yes, this is really cool. So, where can I find out about more of this? And do I have to dress up like my 9-year-old? Like, do I have to wear a Pokemon shirt in order to slip in and get into the drone hacking camp?
Yeah, do you know what? Whenever we talk about this with, kind of the adults in the room and they're like, oh my God, I want to come and do this camp. And, where are these when I was younger? And it is incredible. It is absolutely incredible. So in the one, I'm a mom. I have 2 young boys who will be attending these camps this year. I have an 8-year-old and an 11-year-old, 2 boys. And I think, this is a little bit off topic. I think that we put like our own barriers in front of our children. You look on the box and it says, suitable for like 12 plus or whatever. Even though children don't have the necessary skill sets for this, the rate at which they learn is, it's incredible. So I think this is something, these are skills that our children are going, it's not maybe have some programming skills or maybe have some, like, you won't be able to kind of do anything unless you have some sort of computer skills, and you must be able to write a few lines of code. Like that's just, they should be starting that in schools today, and like kids should take coding. Like it's just the fact of life. And I don't, maybe I'm a little bit biased. I bring my own bias to the table. But I think this is going to be really important stuff. And if we can engage kids from a really, really young age, we're going to be winning. So in addition to the camps that we have, we also bring in like subject matter experts as well to talk to the kids. I like I said, I started with the foundation last summer. So I was at the tail end of the summer camps. And we had a very high-level official from the FBI who happened to be touring the facility while the summer camps were going on. So, and I remember standing there. I was like, could you imagine? And she was a woman. It was a woman who came in as well. So I said, could you imagine sitting there, doing your drone hacking and having someone like a high-level person from the FBI explaining to you how they use this out in the field and saying, oh, and by the way, if you want to get your parents to bring you over for a tour of the facility over at the FBI Academy, no problem. We'll do that too. Here's my car. So, just things like that are really, really, really important.
Yeah, absolutely. And it just, again, I preach it like gospel on this channel that networking is like half the battle. Right? Like if you didn't go to that summer camp, you're not going to bump into the FBI director. You're definitely not going to get the invite for the walk around FBI headquarters, etc. It's so cool. It's really cool to see that you guys are delivering in ways that I almost think wasn't envisioned when you laid the groundwork for like your education, your innovation, and all these things. So it's very, very cool.
No, and to see the kid, I think to see the kids learning is really, from when they get there and it's like, oh, I don't really, I don't know anything about this, to, at the end of the week, it's like, wow, look what I've done and look what I've built. And, that getting children engaged and interested, and then, but keeping them engaged and interested is really paramount. And it's a broader issue that needs to be addressed if we're going to, move forward,
Yeah. So as far as like criteria goes, we got one here. Like what's the age limit? We've also got one, what's it cost? Like where can people get more information? This is a very interesting topic for many of us.
Yeah. We're going to be posting that on the website really soon. They're just finalizing, like we have supply chain issues like everybody else. So we're going to be posting that on the website very, very, very soon. Once we get everything sorted out. So like literally probably within the next week or so.
Okay, and will these camps all be in person in Quantico? Is that the vision of it?
Yes. Everything will take place at the foundation. So, but there is talk. Like we've been approached by a number of organizations to take this model and then do it elsewhere. So, but again, that's early stages. We should know more about additional locations probably within the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, very cool. I could very much see, just put a pin in this one. I could see me hosting one in my local area tied to one of these. If you guys deliver the curriculum, not deliver the curriculum, but provide the curriculum, I will go into the community and deliver it. Just put a pin in it. Just put a pin in it. Just saying.
There you go, my dear.
I love it. So, NZ Extreme actually brings up a really great point, and one that I wholeheartedly endorse. Love the fact that you guys are choosing current trending technology, not, whatever, Commodore 64, or talking about, I don't think you guys would be talking about Fortran and Pascal, but I know, right? But with the amount of money that Facebook of all of them is dumping into the metaverse, and basically giving Oculus Quest 2s away at below cost, understanding AR and VR is going to be a pretty valuable skill set, not just from a marketability of the individual being like, oh, I understand this, I can help you as an organization, but also as just a citizen operating within what will become the normal society once this thing becomes, full steam, and that's the way you're going to school. Ready Player One.
Yeah. It's no, I think this whole metaverse is going to be really interesting, and we're, there's obviously talks already about how we're going to operate in that space and how we're going to, be a major player within that space as well. So those conversations are certainly happening at the foundation.
Yeah. Oh, so you guys are going to buy a 30,000 square foot NFT in the metaverse, and then host virtual summer camps up in there?
Yeah, you never know. We're going to make the impossible possible.
Exactly. And just really quick chat, please. Like, let's not swamp chat with NFT chatter. There's a whole subset of folks in here who are all buck wild up on NFT. They're always trying to spin NFT. So you mentioned CTFs and hackathons. Could you elaborate on that too? Is that usually CTFs are online usually, and you can do individual, you can do teams. Like, dig a little deeper on what the CTFs are all about.
Right. Well, we have one of our partners who, that's kind of their business exclusively. So, we partnered with them, but I also, I used the model that we talked about before. So we had military involvement, we had their red teams, we had a few civilian teams, and it's an international event. Again, they're all online. We didn't do this one in person. And then we did have some junior teams as well. So the last CTF, it was, Jeopardy style, and then we had the mentorship program afterwards. So, we had the high level red teams explain, to the younger children, exactly what they were doing and how they did it, etc.
Okay. So, so I mean, that's a very valuable education. So, but you're saying children again, like is somebody who might be 42 with gray in their beard, are they invited to
Yeah,
participate in these CTFs?
you know what? Yeah, and as we do more and more on them, like they'll be open to everybody. We had one a couple of weeks ago, but that one was quite closed. It was to a specific targeted audience. But like I said, we're going to be doing them every quarter now. So yeah, we'll open it up to absolutely everybody.
Okay, well, if you let me know, I'll definitely share it with the Simply Cyber
Okay.
community
Yeah.
for sure. But the next coming up one, the dates aren't set. There's no website to go to right now, or
No, not yet. It'll be
okay.
towards the end of the quarter. It'll be
Okay, do you
towards the
guys typically, are you posting it on LinkedIn, or like where are you socializing these type of things?
Yeah, well, I would say on our website, but our website is undergoing a huge upgrade at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Another work in progress. But no, everything that goes on through the foundation, I think LinkedIn is a good place to start.
Okay, yeah. So I've followed, I guess that's what you do on LinkedIn with brands, you follow them. So I have followed Cyber Bytes Foundation. So when I see you guys dropping stuff,
Yeah.
I'll definitely share it with the community. But if you guys see it out there, definitely share it or dig into it a
Okay.
little bit, because CTFs are a lot of fun. I have to be careful
Yeah.
personally, because when I go into a CTF, it's like blinders on. I don't know if it's daytime, nighttime. I haven't shaved. Like I just
I want that trophy.
yeah, I turn into a mess, honestly. So I try to limit my CTFs to one or two a year, fully
Right.
understanding the cost of what
Yeah.
it's going to do to me.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we're going to be running a couple of more. You're quite familiar with our new partner that's going to be assisting with them. So, it'll
oh,
be.
I do know your new partner. I didn't realize that was going to be the platform. That is, yeah, I
Yeah.
am definitely
Very fun.
excited about the next CTF. That
Yeah.
platform is dope. Um,
Yeah.
okay, so couple rapid fire questions for you, Amanda. Carrie just wants to know if any of the classes will ever be virtual, or currently are any virtual.
Which class are you talking? Like the summer camps? The classes are all virtual. That you have the option to do them virtual or in person.
Okay, very cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
I haven't read this one. Roger Swanson, have you made any plans on how local organizations can connect or partner with your foundations, or like our ISC Charleston chapter or folks in ISACA? So yeah, interesting. How are you partnering with cybersecurity professional organizations?
That's one conversation at a time, and because I want to ensure that, when companies or organizations are coming on board or they want to partner with us, that we can actually do the work to support them, or we can, give them what they need, back. So like I said, that at this point, that's one conversation at a time to say, here's the sort of work that we're doing, what are you looking for, etc. So if anybody is interested, simply just drop me a message and I'll, we can set up a time to have a conversation.
Perfect. Yeah. And Amanda is up on LinkedIn, very active user on LinkedIn. So, you accepted my connection request. So I feel like you're open to connect.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah. So we're almost at time here. It's been a wonderful conversation, Amanda. I love what you guys are doing. A lot of interesting topics. I definitely want to learn more about the summer camps, especially having two young boys of my own who I want to give as many opportunities to allow them to grow up to be nerds like their dad as I possibly can. And if it doesn't happen, that's fine, but I tried. So let me give you an opportunity. You can have the floor. Final thoughts that you'd like to share with everybody before you head on out.
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank you for inviting us on today. So thank you, Simply Cyber. And if anybody wants more information about the summer camps, please just drop me a message and I'll get that over to you. And if you are interested in any sort of partnership questions, again, just drop that to me as well. So again, today I just wanted to get the word out about everything that we were doing here at the foundation, and I hope I was able to answer everyone's questions. So thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you definitely answered everyone's questions, and you definitely covered many initiatives. I'm super pumped, and there's a couple that we talked about offline that we didn't even get to tease. So definitely follow Cyber Bytes Foundation on LinkedIn. There's going to be some things in the fall that they have planned. I don't want to commit anything since I'm not involved in any way, but I was excited when Amanda told me some of their stretch goals for 2022. So I'm pretty pumped about that. Thank you so much for being here, Amanda. I genuinely appreciate it.
Oh, it was a great conversation. I had a lot of fun today. So yeah, we'll have to do it again.
All right, awesome. Let me send you off to the green room. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed that conversation. Amanda is absolutely an amazing person. I really, really enjoyed having her on. So let me just share with you guys really quickly a couple of things that we've got coming up. You know how I like to tease these things. This is Cyber Bytes Foundation's website, guys. If you didn't know it, this is it. So this is where you can go get more information. Next Thursday, guys, our 4:30 live. I think I'm going to start calling it Simply Cyber Live. Okay, so get ready for that. Next Thursday, we are having Zach Hill. Many of you know him as the IT Career Questions YouTuber, a couple 100,000. He's recently joined TCM Academy, and he's their brand manager over there. He's a really good guy, and he really likes helping people. I've had multiple conversations with Zach. He's going to come on, and we are going to be talking about how branding helps you get jobs, right? How to do branding. This is going to be a very practical action takeaway type of conversation. We were like, hey, Zach, let's work together. Yeah, let's collab. What should we do? And I was like, dude, and we just started talking about Simply Cyber and IT Career Questions and how, basically, because you get known for something, people seek you out, right? Like job opportunities and opportunities to speak at events and stuff like that. Like branding, it's not as important as networking right now, but it's very important. It has incredible value. And we're going to talk about how you can do it because anyone can do it. It's not exclusive to extroverts. It's not exclusive to people who can afford gear and all this crap. It's a technique that you can utilize, and Zach is a master of it, and we're going to break it down next week. So I hope you can join us. Again, every tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., I do this cybersecurity threat briefing. Many of you have joined me every morning. I recognize a lot of you. Many of you are squad members in here, so I genuinely appreciate that. It keeps the threat briefing ad-free. We're going to be breaking down the top cybersecurity news stories of the day. I give my professional opinion on each one and how you can actionably take something away from that story to help your end users, to help yourself professionally, or just to be a better, well-rounded, minded cybersecurity professional. So I hope you can join me and the rest of the Simply Cyber community at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. It'll be on the Simply Cyber channel. So that's going to do it for this week's episode. Thank you all so much. And until next time, stay secure.